Hi everybody, my name's Shark, and welcome to Let's Draw. Today we're going to draw one of my all-time favorite comic book characters, Spawn. Alright, he's a relatively simple-ish kind of character. Of course he's got his own little things, you know, the most complicated thing of course being the cape. But we'll see how that turns out. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, starting out with the basic thing, you know, you got the laying down of the initial sketch. I'm actually kind of pleased with the way this one turned out compared to the other ones in the past. I mean, you guys gotta admit, those were complete garbage. You want like, oh yeah, this one's gonna be different, this one's actually gonna be cool, and blah blah, it still turned out crap. This one actually turned out pretty cool because I actually took my time. So yeah, I mean took my time. The initial recording of this was over an hour long. Okay, so we got the, and plus I put a little bit more than just the actual head. Okay, we got the cape laid down there, and can't see it too well, but I actually went in and put on the eye for the eyes. Drawing the eyes first. I usually always start out with the eyes and doing the outline of the face. Now the thing, of course, about Spawn is he's wearing a mask, so there's not too much detail in the face. All of it's in the, you know, eyes and all that stuff. And plus, also, even underneath the mask, he doesn't have a nose, so that makes it a little bit easier. So yeah, usually when you're drawing a face with a mask, sometimes at least what I do, things I concentrate most on is the eyes with the brows, you know, the detail with all the, you know, scrunching up the angry expression, the cheeks, and down here, because I mean it's all sticking out and stuff like that. And of course, you know, if the guy have a nose, you know, you draw the nose. But yeah, okay, here we are getting into the pecs. Oh, yeah, accidentally click the pen tool there. I need the pencil. But yeah. Okay, getting into the arm. Definitely need to work on freaking arm structure. One of the most important things that you need to do when you try to draw comics is study anatomy. Well, I mean, with any art, you want to study anatomy, so you know how the body works, certain shapes, how certain things function, how certain things are going to look in certain positions. It's the best thing you can do for yourself. But yeah, unfortunately I need to do that a lot more, but anywho, okay, that's generally an area right there that I have a hard time with. That's why in a lot of these drawings I focus on the face, because when it comes down to the torso, I start running into problems, because it's tough for me to draw the torso. There's different ways of doing it, of course, especially when you're drawing the abs. You don't necessarily just draw them out defined, you just want to, indicate the shade more than anything. But yeah, okay, and one of the things I love about drawing on digital is where I really cheat is when it came down to the because at first I just started drawing the major body structure and all that stuff and getting, you know, and then when it came to the extra stuff, I put on a different layer instead of just drawing over it. It definitely helps. It tends to create a lot more work, because then you have to go in and erase all the stuff underneath, but at the same time it makes it a lot easier, so you don't have to deal with all the stuff that's underneath, as you'll see. Okay, because yeah, alright, doing the little skull things here that the actual cape comes out of. That's the cool thing about Spawn is he's got a lot of skulls. Well, he's got 3 skulls on him, but he's also got the chains, which are a pain in the butt. With this, I didn't really go with the chains too much, because I just mainly wanted to focus on the upper part. Plus, I didn't want to spend too much time on it. I wanted to spend enough time onto it, you know, give it some decent detail and work. But yeah, because I mean, it's Spawn, and Spawn's awesome. Okay, here we go with the skull in the crotch area. Now, the difference between the skull down there and the skulls up here is there's less detail in these ones because they're smaller, and this one's a lot bigger. So I mean, it's just the way it's also designed too. Because I mean, that's where a lot of sometimes the focus is. It's right down there because it looks cool for one thing. But yeah, you put a little shade in there. Now, that's the thing about drawing digital is you can cut a lot of corners and take a lot of shortcuts and stuff like that, and I try to take advantage of it as much as I can, because I mean that's the huge difference between drawing with paper and then drawing on this is, you know, drawing different layers and stuff like that, and you can just, you know, outline it and just adjust it like I'm doing right there with the skull, just taking it and putting it up, and as per, you know, as opposed to drawing on paper, you know, when you draw it, yeah, something's quite not right, you have to erase it and you redraw it, and which is really not a big deal. I think it's probably good practice, but when you do it with digital, it definitely saves some time. But, you know, never be afraid to erase something, okay? Because, I mean, even if it turned out good, you drew it once, you can draw it again, okay? It came from you once, it could come from you again. Alright, you might have to work a little bit harder at it. Maybe the next time it'll turn out better. But it always drove me nuts whenever I'd watch somebody drawing. They mess up once, and then they take the whole paper, crinkle it up, and throw it away. That always irritated me so much. It's just like, no, just erase it, you know, start over. And like, yeah, I don't want to worry about it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what the hell, man? But, you know, maybe that's also because, you know, paper wasn't really was more or less a commodity for me growing up. I mean, I still had it. Oftentimes when I thought I was short of it, turns out I had a lot more than I actually did. But yeah, see. Here I'm putting a little bit more into the shading, and bring in the outline. Now here I believe I actually go into the detail. Yeah, there we go. The little iconic thing on the mask. But that looks really awesome. The Spider-Man-esque thing that Todd McFarlane gave him, which works. I mean, it's cool. Venom's got it. He's got it. It's cool. But yeah, it's also in other places, of course. But yeah, and then we got the we got there. Okay, working on the muscles a little bit more. Oh, there we go. The little design thing that's right here in the chest. That's simple as hell, too. But, I mean, no. Yeah, it is pretty simple. There's millions of different ways you can draw a Spawn. You can have some parts that look metal and some parts that don't. Okay, yeah, see what I mean about erasing? I just erased a good chunk of the actual arm that I spent a lot of time drawing, putting detail in, just to put this in, because he's got that big old thing on one of his forearms. Now, whichever forearm it is, I can't remember. But yeah, then we got the shading underneath the arm there. We'll try to put some rendering and definition into the pecs. Trying to put some shading into the actual bicep. I've never really figure out how the shading goes on that, because it's different. But yeah, putting a little bit more shading in there. Just putting shading everywhere. Now this is honest. If I was going to color this would be futile as hell, because other than, you know, some other spots, the whole thing about Spawn's costume is it's totally black. Now, if I was coloring it, I'd be more focusing on highlights and shadow, but since it's just a sketch, I'm focusing on the shadow, because shadow is what really makes a sketch pop. And one thing I think is cross-hatching more or less is becoming more or less a lost art, I guess you can say, or just inking in general, because not so many people use it anymore. They mostly do the clean line work illustration style, which works, but you know, I think that you learn a lot from, you know, working with cross hatching and things like that, how shadows work and stuff like that. You know, I highly encourage people to work on cross hatching. Plus, I mean, you play around with it and get some really awesome effects, like right there. You know, it looks like you got a little bit of rim lighting in there. Okay, so yeah, that's Spawn. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. So yeah, if you guys have any requests or anything for what, you know, other stuff that you want me to draw, just leave a comment, leave it in the comments below, or send me a message, whatever. All right, if you like what you saw, you know, give it a like, upvote, comment, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff. So yeah. Alright, well that's going to be it for me. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Adios!